Hi guys, it's me again. I'm back with a short blog entry here just to answer one of the questions that I got on Facebook after doing one of my sessions lately, and that was how I got this grid overlaid on the image of the puzzle that I was making. And I'm going to show you that real quick, and I'm going to use this puzzle called the Lake District from Jumbo, which is the next one that I'm doing, and just tell you how you can get that image done for yourself using open source software, so it's free to use. Okay, so what do you need to do then? Well, let me just switch over to my screen real quick. So there you go. This is the Google homepage or the search page, and I'm just going to have made a small cheat note here also just to make this go faster. So the puzzle that I'm doing is called Greetings from the Lake District. So I'm just going to enter that into the Google search page, and I'm going to look for images. And if you're wondering why I'm looking up here, it's because my screen is over there. And this is the actual cover from that puzzle that I'm doing. And what you want to do is that you want to right click and then select copy image. This is in Swedish, so it says something else, but it probably says copy image in your English version. And then you want to start up it's the new image manipulation program, I think it's called. Let me just see. No, yeah, it's called GIMP, and that's free to download if you have I think it's available both for Mac and for PC, Microsoft Windows system, and it's available on gimp.org. So just go into there and download it if you don't have it already. It's a great free software basically. If you have Photoshop or something, you can use that, but then I don't know quite what the filters are called and so on. So this is the the GIMP software. What you want to do then is, after having copied that image from Google, you want to go up to File here, and you want to create from clipboard, and then you get the image into the system, so you can start manipulating it. So you can you can do lots of stuff here. You can move it around and so on. But what we're going to do is create a grid over this, and then I happen to know, or I happen to guess actually, that this puzzle will be 40 pieces across and 25 pieces down when it's done. That's not always the case. If you're doing 1,000-piece puzzles, it could be other dimensions, and it doesn't actually need to even up to 1,000. So there can be more, or there can be few pieces, but often it's around there somewhere. But I think that I've done jumbo puzzles before with 1,000 pieces and the same dimensions as this one, and then they were 40 by 25. So I'm just going to guess that. Now, this image isn't, if you can look up here, it says 830 by 591 pixels. So that doesn't really even out to 40 by 25. If you look at done some calculations here, it's actually 75 pieces, pixels per piece if you go across and use this image. And it's about 23.64 when you go down, and that will make, since you have to have even numbers when you do the grid, you'll have to fix this a bit, and if you do the calculations here and you say that, well, 20.75 is pretty much 21, right? So if you multiply 21 by 40, you get an image that should be 840 instead across, and the same thing down, then it should be 600 down. So that's the image size that you should be going for to get the grid right. And then what you want to do is you want to go up to image here in the menu, and you want to select scale image, and then you got to make sure that this little chain here that is unlocked, because otherwise if you enter 840 here, the numbers or the size down will change, and then you want to go 600 here, and then it will change up there instead, and you'll go nuts eventually. So if you just unclick that chain, you can enter 840 by 600, and that's what you want. Okay, so then you just scale the image. You saw that it moved slightly there, just a little bit bigger. And then now you want to create that grid, and what you do then is, first and foremost, GIMP is just like Photoshop and other imaging programs, it's made up of lots of layers, so you can use that to sort of work on parts of the image at the time and so on. And what you want to do is you want to create a new layer to write or to draw the grid on. So you select layer up here, and then you just put new layer, and you use the same size as the image, and then you just select OK. So now you have a layer up here, and you can, if you choose not to see the background anymore, you will see that this new layer is empty, right? So this is the layer you want to draw on. And then here comes the fun part. Under the menu filters, there is something called render, and if you go to pattern here, you can render a grid, and that's what you want to do. And this lets you render just a drawn grid on the layer that you're on, basically. But you still have to use a bit of math or think a bit to get this right, because this is just the width that says how thick the line will be of the grid, the thickness of it. And I think 1 is good for this. And the spacing, that's where you want to put in the size of the pieces in pixels that you calculated before. So this will be the vertical lines, the space between vertical lines should be 21, and between horizontal ones should be 24, okay? So you want to put that in here. I think that's the way to go anyways. Or is it the other way? Let's see. This is across, those are the vertical lines. So no, it's the other way around. I was like, okay, sorry. So here you want to use this, the size you calculated for how tall or high the piece should be. And here you want to, I want to release that chain again also here. So release that, and then you want to say that it should be 21 when between the vertical lines. And this offset is where you want it to start, and we want to start this in the upper left corner, so that's just 0, 0 there. And now if you just hit OK here, we should get a grid like that. So that's basically how you do it. Now you have a grid that's 40 by 25 squares here, and you can do pretty much anything you want to with this. What I did, or one thing that you can do if you want to, what I did for this session that I did is I asked a few people if they wanted to guess what the missing piece would be, and they did, and then I entered that into the grid so I could sort of keep track of who got their guesses when they were filled in, basically. And what I did then was that I just created a copy of this layer, duplicate layer. So now you have you have this layer, which is just the grid, and then you have another layer here with the grid as well. And what I did then was I selected the paint bucket over here, okay, and then I choose another color. I think I used green actually for the border, and then I just went across here and I colored all of these pieces of the frame in like that, and then I just went all the way around, and then for the pieces that people had guessed on, I just used another image or another color. I think I used some sort of purple one like that. And I said that, oh well, this guy thought that would be it, and this guy thought that this, and this woman thought that this would be taken, and so on. And once you've done that, you could get your background back, and then it will look like this. What I then did is that I just took down the opacity a bit for this layer so that it was a bit see-through like that. And that is basically how you create an image. And then you just need to go to file over here and export that image as a PNG or a JPEG or something, and save it to your computer. And then you can upload it to Facebook or wherever you want to use it. You can even print it actually and have and lay your puzzle on if you want to. And that way you can sort of see when the pieces get hits. Then you have to have to get a bit creative with getting the dimensions right. But basically, that is how you do it. I hope that was helpful in some way, and that you'll get some use of it or try it yourself. And if you have any questions, just ask me here on YouTube or in Facebook, and I will try to get back to you. Thank you for watching, guys. See you later.